Yo, 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 it's Our Lifestyle, the podcast. And thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. Just want to remind you that we have a weekly mini trucking inspired podcast. Go out to your favorite podcast app and just search OLP or Our Lifestyle Podcast, just like the name of our YouTube channel. So we started earlier this year the flip through series of Mini Truckin Magazine, the famed magazine that lasted from 88 to 2014, a total of 269 issues, and we're going to make our way through every single one of those. So leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing. And I want to give a huge shout out to Custom Car Show Productions, which is the title sponsor of our podcast. They have 4 shows per year, including Scraping the Coast every June and Orange Beach Invasion, which is every March in Orange Beach, Alabama. So let's jump right in here. Now, I also want to, before we get going with the magazine, let everyone know that our new shirts, the OLP, what we call Outrun Shirts or Live Life Topless, it's a spinoff of the Sega Mega Drive Outrun game. And of course, Graphic Disorder killed it with the artwork. You can go to ourlifestylepodcast.com to order. So with this issue, this is issue 8, and this is the 5th out of the first 8 that Alan Paradise shot the cover of. Now, it's actually the last one that he shot the cover of. So interesting enough, the first 5 of 8, Alan Paradise, he played a big role in the magazine, especially in the infancy of it. This is technically summer of 1990, so we're still in the summer of 2020. And this is 30 years ago. You got Robert Hess's killer Nissan 720. So let's jump right in. All right, we've seen this ad before. The hot pinks and just different colors of the era. Love that the scene is kind of coming back to the roots of the old school. Check out that Ram. Check out those bikinis. So we've been kind of inspired to do this for a couple of reasons, including folks that'll sometimes, be researching and maybe mention or ask like, hey, was such and such truck in this issue? And this is the best way that we could find to really go through and give you guys the most, kind of content from a Mini Truckin Magazine perspective. Obviously, it beats taking a photo of every page. Now, I've went through every issue of Mini Truckin Magazine, and on our Lifestyle Podcast, we'll be bringing some kind of unprecedented deep dive statistics and numbers and things like that about the magazine. Many of you know, again, as I mentioned, that there were 269 issues, and we'll eventually make our way through all of those. Steve Stillwell, you know his name from Truckin, of course, Mini Truckin. He was the editor, the first editor, and of Street Trucks fame. He's obviously has a long history in the truck scene. Mini Truckin Diary, this is by Peter Younger. And mini news briefs. This is something that we became kind of accustomed to seeing, as you would imagine, in a publication like this. Early on, it was about 4 per year. They moved to kind of bi-monthly, and eventually, we'll talk about it later, when they moved to the monthly publication. Of course, Rodney, who doesn't remember this, right? Old school. This issue, if you can't tell, was pretty much in mint condition. And I've been very fortunate. I have some good friends that have helped me over the years. Would have never thought I would have a complete collection, and really just down to 1 or 2 issues away. This is Sean Cobb's 89 Isuzu, changing colors. And then it was, of course, very cool colors there. It was titled Change of Colors for the feature. Now, the magazine is many, many, many years away from full color. Once we get closer to that issue, we'll talk about it. But you can kind of see, you talk about old school. Our friend Greg Miller, who's part of Custom Car Show Productions, he's a big collector of vintage stereo equipment. So if you're following him on Facebook, you'll probably see some of that cool stuff. Interesting here, I've called this out before. It was only $1 for 2 stickers. And who remembers self-addressed stamped envelopes? Self-addressed stamped envelopes, man. Wow. Talk about throwback. Tech articles, of course, are important for all magazines, and they still continue to be, and that's what you're looking at there. We talked a little bit about Mini Truckin Marquee. So this is probably just to give them additional features, maybe not worthy of, more pages, so to speak, but I always thought that it was really interesting because it gave additional opportunities for people to be featured. And of course, the more they featured, the more folks more than likely ran out to purchase the magazine in their town on newsstands. Mini binder. So this is a Robert Hess's 84 Nissan 720. And this is just a beautiful truck. I mean, I think by today's standards, who would not love this? You got the tilt bed, you've got the convertible, you have just an awesome set of wheels, frame is all detailed. There's no wonder that Alan Paradise shot this bad boy for the cover. And you can kind of see right there some of the old school flavor. This is the stretch job, turning a mini truck into a stretch limo. And this was kind of a famous truck that made its rounds late 80s and into the 90s. Now this thing, we've seen this pop up a couple of times on Instagram. Not sure if it's still around, but man, these colors really capture the time period. Bonsai cruisers in the house, always enjoy seeing them at shows throughout the nation. Snug top, that famous ad. Got the wire wheels, you got the rag on the topper, and of course you got the tilt bed, so pretty classic. It's great to go to shows these days and actually see the continued rise in popularity of mini trucking and really kind of what's dubbed the old school mini trucking by today's standards. Richard Darnell's, this is from New York, and then it's an 86 Chevy S10. Again, it kind of goes with our theme and one of the hashtags that we've started, which is Live Life Topless. And you can see there with the Trucksarosa. It's really the only shirt in recent memory that I can think of that we did, that someone did Trucksarosa on. And that was important for us to try to push the limits and kind of come out with new styles. So kick-ass stuff here. You got a Truckin shirt. Obviously, again, this is issue 8 of Mini Truckin Magazine. You can kind of see here some of the previous issues that we've went through. This was, basically trying to get you to subscribe 4 issues for only $10. Imagine if you could go back and, order a bunch of these. This thing is just awesome. Now, the title is From Rust to Rainbows, little kind of a title that ties into the colors of this thing. But this is Chris Fowler from Mesquite, Texas, the 80 Mazda B2000. You talk about the phone, the colors. I mean, gosh, this is just a time capsule, really. Now, there's a group on Facebook, Mini Truckin' Where Are They Now? And they kind of look into where some of these famous trucks are at. A lot of these are gone, of course, you would imagine. But you'd be amazed at how many do still pop up. So, again, if you're on Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts, a number of different programs or kind of applications, you can search OLP. Or if that doesn't pop up, just search our lifestyle podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, and you'll hear my co-host, Miggity Mike the Mayor, and I every week. We try to bring on a guest nationwide, actually worldwide. And this is Mini Sketchpad. So we talked about this prior. Pretty cool to see. Probably a lot of young kids sending in their artwork. How awesome would that have been to be in a national publication? Check this out. Southern Mini Truckin' Nats, the first annual, 1990. And window art, always loved this. Thought it was pretty awesome. You got a chance to see all the different colors and things like that. The Sun Dome, there was one cover truck with that. And yeah, killer ads. There you have it. You got the Viperize your truck. So, Mini Truckin Magazine, again, this is the 8th issue. You had the first 8, you had 5 shot by Alan Paradise in terms of the covers. Robert Hess's 84 Nissan 720. Check out the podcast. We out ya. Peace.